Good morning. Had to have my wife come pick me up, or not pick me up, drop me off at the field where Dad was chiseling yesterday. Can you see that? Nope, you can't see that. All those corn stalks we ran the other day, Dad got them all ripped up, but he had left this farm truck down here, and it happened to be on my wife's way to work and dropping the boys off for school, so I just had her bring me back here. We're gonna head back to the farm. Brock should be there by the time we get back, and we're gonna get the combine and the grain cart ready to go to Berkey. Make the move. Okay, we got to get everything fueled up, filled up, ready to go. You don't make this trip without a full tank of fuel, because it's hard enough for us to get all the fuel we need down there. The cart tractor should be fine. We shouldn't need more in that, but we'll get it fueled up. Brock's here. He was grabbing a grease gun. We're going to grease up the tracks on the grain cart, throw some talc on everything, and get ready to go. Phil's going to get our bean truck unloaded from last night. He's already got a wagon of wheat ready to go. Let's do this. Yeah, no? Yep. All right. Let's get the bucket of talc out. Our tracks, especially the front track there, has been running much cooler since we got that shim kit put in and the alignment done. I feel much more confident running this back and forth to Berkey than I did this spring with the planter and the side dress bar. But I'm still going to put the temperature gun in there, have Brock stop halfway, check the lugs just to make sure that we're not getting too hot. We're going to keep the bucket of talc in there. We'll stop and talc them halfway down and before we start, just to try and keep them cool, because this is a 35-mile trip. It is a long ways to go on tracks. Time to roll out. Let's go. We made it. Dad had the head sitting where we could get it unhooked or unstrapped so we could pull in and pick it right up. We're just gonna get in the right spot here. We'll have to get it hooked, the hydraulics and the PTO shaft hooked up there. Brock and Phil may be a little bit. I'm faster than they are, believe it or not, in the combine here. Brock's limited to 20 miles an hour with the tracks on the cart and everything else, and Phil pulling a seed wagon can't go much faster, so they shouldn't be too long, but we'll have to wait around on them a little bit. It is 10:20, so it's going to be afternoon before we really get rolling, but that's okay. Combine is ready to go there. Brock did just get a hold of me on the radio. He said he was about 5 miles out, so he won't be too long before he's here. I have no idea where Phil's at, but he shouldn't be too long either, so at least hopefully not, and we can all get back, get the rest of our stuff so we can get going. It's another beautiful day. Man, we've just been blessed with a beautiful stretch of weather here, so we need to keep moving and keep going, get this stuff done. So there is 280 acres of soybeans here at our Berkey farm, roughly, and it'll probably take 3 days. I doubt we can do it in 2, because I think tomorrow we got to quit a little early anyway. Got some stuff going on tomorrow night, so we should be done with them by Friday, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Hopefully we'll be into some corn. So I don't think there's a whole lot we have to do to get our grain system ready for beans. We might have to put some boots in on the bottom of the grain leg, some extensions on some downspouts, open bin lids up, that kind of stuff. Before we get to corn, though, we do have to still finish our wiring project on that burner. We still don't have it working quite correctly, so hopefully while we're down here at some point we'll get a chance to look into that a little bit. I mean, we're gonna have to, so I just don't want it to slow the combine down if we can help it. Checking the tracking on the leg, adjusting a little bit. We're just trying to run stuff and clean it out before we put all the covers back on. Well, the three of us made it back. Phil's gonna bring the air seeder down. Brock's gonna bring the pickup with the red wagon that we emptied the wheat out of a while ago. And Phil's packing up our moisture tester and the computer and some of the other stuff that we need. And I am gonna take this other truck. And we're just gonna go so we can get started combining. Okay, we made it to Berkey. It is 12:24. It is time to go combine beans. So Brock should be down in half an hour or so, and Phil will be down in an hour and a half or so. He's going to be a little slower bringing the tractor, but we've got some beans that are sold to the elevator that's closer to down here. So Phil has got to get them hauled in and fill the contracts. We put beans in that first little bin there, but that's only a 5,000 bushel bin, and we're gonna have to haul some more out after we kind of get stuff full or whatever. So getting rid of the beans is a bit of a challenge down here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So we'll see how it goes. We should be able to combine hard today and not fill everything up. So we'll see. All right, we got the end rows done in the front here. I mean, 58's good. It might be 60 bushel beans. I'd be thrilled with that. We had so much less rain here this summer that the crops they haven't looked as good all year. Anyway, they are dry, 13.1 average, but the end rows over there behind that barn were clearly a much fuller season variety because they were green, and it was just kind of whatever was left in the boxes on the planter when he moved down here. That was all of them, but we ground them out and they were quite green. The rest of them are like 11%. They're plenty dry. So we got to move the grain cart out to here where we can get to it. We're going to make that truck where we can get to it over there to dump the grain cart in, and we'll keep the combine, and hopefully Brock will be here before we get too far and he can jump in the cart and we can knock some ground out. We are going to be able to drive fast. I'll explain in a little bit. Well, we're gonna cover this in a hurry. So you may be able to tell if you look down in there. There's cornstalk rows. They're still there standing. The cornstalks from last year. These beans were all no-till. We did not do any tillage. We did not disc them. We did not chisel it. We didn't do anything to them. Just planted straight into it this spring, and that worked out okay. Sometimes that can cause issues with harvest. There you can see the rows a little bit better behind the combine. But so far it's going all right. Everything is dry. Our beans, well, right here they got a little wet, 14.1, but average for the round here is 12.7, 12.8. So that's good. And I tell you, I'm gonna stop being surprised by how good our beans are eventually. I really, genuinely did not think these were gonna be as good as Waldron, and they're not as good as Waldron. But this is the pass that we're on. That's the field average, and all I've done is end rows. They're gonna be good beans. We might hit 70 down here. I just can't believe that, because we didn't have near as much rain in July here. I mean, we had half as much rain at this farm as we did back at Waldron in July. I think August and September were comparable, but we got a big rain here early in August, and then it got dry towards the end of the month, and around Labor Day it was really dry here. Apparently I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to judging what beans are going to yield. So I guess we'll be okay. Good beans. Fantastic equipment. It's just awesome. Grain cart driver. Phil made it down here. There's the air seeder. We've just about got a truck full. My Uncle Jack's here. He's going to get our grain leg put back together, the boots and stuff put in the covers on the boot, I guess, so we can put beans in the overhead. Phil's got to get to hauling, and we're going to cover some ground today. We're going fast. Fast is fun and productive. I think if I click on this monitor and we go over a couple of pages, 1,822 bushels per hour, 25 acres an hour average. Not average, instant. That's like what we're covering right now. Rabbit. Okay, well, I knew it was going to happen, but it's happened faster than I thought. We got to do something with all the beans we're combining. So Phil did leave with the first truck. He's hauling that in. I think it's about an hour round trip for him to get back here. So we want to make sure that we have stuff ready for him to go so he can load up and go, or just switch trucks and go right away and get as many hauled today as he can before the elevator closes. So we've got the other truck full, and we're going to empty that into the overhead. The grain cart is also full, so we've really got 3 full truckloads of beans combined already. We're going to have some on the combine here. Our third semi is in the barn down here. We're probably going to get that out, but we need to unload some of these trucks, put them in the overhead. Jack might be working on that right now. I'm not sure. So that would be good, but I want to get Jack set up planting wheat here real quick too. And I'm just about done with, I got one more pass here, and then we'll be all the way past the building site, so he can start planting wheat over here on this end of the field. And yeah, we'll go from there. So it's a good thing. They're way better than I would have thought. We're up to 71 average. Rounds are in the 70s. I mean, they're basically as good as they were at Waldron on half the rain, and I just don't understand how that's possible. But this is really good dirt down here. Usually every year we have better beans at Berkey than we do at Waldron. Usually. It's because this ground is better suited for soybean production. It holds water really well. That is the thing about it, is that it's got a lot of clay in it, and it takes a long time to dry out because of the texture of the soil. So you can't see it right now because the whole field's behind us, but we are flat and really good productive dirt down here. Oh, well, look at that. He did get it empty. Sweet. So that's good. I'm gonna start this tractor up and make sure the monitor and everything is set up. Jack can drive this tractor just fine. He can plant wheat just fine. He's not great with the computers in it. So if we get it all set up, where all he has to do is push the auto steer button, he'll use it and it'll work. But yeah. Of course, he might just have him unload another truck. The overhead bin will hold 3 loads. So yeah, we're gonna be full of beans in a hurry. For some reason, my grain cart driver keeps leaving and just letting the tractor sit there. And well, we did make the round. We finished it, but they didn't quite all fit. I was intending to dump on the go there, but there's nobody in the tractor. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, my grain cart driver went to help unload some trucks, I guess. So we're getting this truck unloaded. Phil came and took one out of the overhead. There should be almost 2 loads up there. That's good. We got our moisture tester and everything in here. We're getting set up, figuring all of that out. So I'm going to have Jack start planting wheat for us, I think. So we are just about done with this field. There's 72, I think, in the field, 75, something like that. We're at 68 and a half. So Jack is over there planting wheat. That is good. They're still really good beans. I did want to show you, can you guys see the pattern out here? It drops off a little bit towards this end of the field, but up here, see how every third pass is more yellow in it, and it just drops off? Yeah, those are sprayer tracks. That's why. And including the one that we did down there that's mostly yellow. That pass, there were sprayer tracks in it. So everywhere we had the sprayer tire tracks, it kind of knocked the yield back a little bit in that one pass, but then in between it, was better where there are no tracks. So how's he gonna get over here? He's a little stuck. Not gonna work there, Brock. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so there's no way to avoid that, right? Unless you hire an airplane, and it's not worth that, because I'm sure we could isolate it and figure out what the yield difference is and what those 2 sprayer tracks are costing us. But the yield increase from spraying whatever we are spraying more than makes up for that difference by a long shot. And hiring an airplane is cost prohibitive enough on a wide number of acres that you're not going to do it. So anyway, it stands out in this one. All right, there's one done, and I saw Phil is back. Yeah, he's loading up again to take his 3rd load out over there. Jack got the air seeder empty, so we got to help him get loaded up again. I'm gonna empty our grain cart, our truck, get everything caught up here, and then we'll get moved. And we're just moving across the ditch to over there, but we can't get across there without going down the road, and we can't go down the road with the head on. So yeah, it is what it is. It'll be fine. But that's the last move we'll have down here, because everything else is in one block or right across the road from it, so we can do it all without dropping the head again, which will be nice. So we're 75 acres into the day. It is 4:45. we should get another, heck, we might get another 70 done today. We'll be close to 150 by the end of the day. Of course, we might have to stop and yeah, I don't know if we can do that much or not. All right, lots of stuff happening, right? So we got that truck empty. We got to get the cart empty yet, but we were filling the drill. Jack got that variety planted out. It was empty, wasn't it? The tank? Okay. We are switching varieties, so we've got a new variety that we're going to plant some of this year that's in these bulk bags. This is the best way to get it in there, so we're just kind of using the conveyor on the, yeah. It'll work. It'll work. It's going to take a little while, but it'll work. Our forklift has a internal cylinder leak, so when you lift it up really high, it spews oil out the top of that cylinder, especially when it hasn't been lifted that high for a long time. So we lost a little oil. It'll be okay. Almost forgot we needed some talc. Just kind of dribbling it in at the bottom of the auger here. It should mix it pretty thoroughly by the time it gets up there. We don't have an automatic talc applicator on the drill auger like we do on the seed tenders. All right, well, I got the leaf blower out and cleaned the feeder house off there. Brock got the trucks empty. We got Jack back planting wheat. Cart's empty. Phil's still hauling. He's on his third load, I think. Third, yeah, sounds about right. We're on to the next field. So we've got to go over there, where that building site is. Around the corner. So we're gonna take the combine. Brock's gonna bring it ahead, and it'll take us a minute to get stuff opened up and moved. Okay, we got moved over here. I did just a little bit to open up so we could get trucks in. Got the truck. Brock's bringing the cart. We went and got some chicken real quick, and it is time to go. Let's see how much we can do. There's that sweet tractor. All right, we're moving along here. This is more what I was expecting when we got down here, right? So this is a little tougher field than the one across the ditch. We own that one. We rent this one. I'll let you make the decision there, but it's not bad. It's not that it's bad. They're not bad. But they're 60 bushel beans. They're not 70. That's what I expected. I fully expected us to be in the high 50s, maybe to hit 60 down here. We'll see when we get across this field. This is a big field. There's like 95 acres in it, in this part. So we'll see where we end up at the end of the day here. But they're dry at 11%. And, you know, their spots, yeah, they're yielding really well. But the average is going to be in the low 60s, and that's still really good. You will notice there's a lot of grass. We had some weed control issues down here, and I'm sort of disgusted about it, but it happened. It is what it is. Basically what happened was, because we no-tilled this, we didn't get our vertical tillage, our disc, run across it in the spring. And so we didn't have that tillage pass to take out the weeds that were already there. So Dad came down and he hit it pretty hard with some chemical, I believe right when we planted or right after planting, a pre-emerge herbicide. And I think he threw some Roundup in with that. And then when we came back to do our post-emerge, we had a product that we had been using called Sequence, which has glyphosate or Roundup and Dual in it. And Dual is a residual that helps with broadleaves and stuff. The problem is it has a plant back restriction or interval to wheat that was too long. We couldn't use it and plant wheat in these fields this fall if we had sprayed it when we did, because it was late when it got planted, and when we would have been spraying it would have been like in the first or second week of July. And so that didn't work. So we ended up pulling that product out. We used Enlist, which these are Enlist beans, so that's a 2,4-D to control the broadleaves. And then we used Fusilade, which is a grass herbicide to control the grasses. We did not put the glyphosate in it because we were using a broadleaf herbicide and a grass herbicide. We thought it wasn't necessary. The Fusilade kills volunteer corn. Glyphosate does not, because the volunteer corn is Roundup resistant. The problem apparently is that the Fusilade did not do a very good job controlling the grasses, the foxtails and some of that other stuff that glyphosate would have done a really good job of. So, lesson learned. don't try and skimp out and save, but glyphosate got super expensive this year, and instead of spending that extra $15 an acre, or maybe a little less, but for that, when we already had a grass herbicide in the mix, we thought, well, that'll work. We'll just do that. It did not work, so we made a mistake. I would say the air is starting to get a little heavy. The dust is very slowly drifting. We got no breeze, and the dust is not dissipating. It's going to hang in the air, and yeah, it's going to be dusty for a while. Phil's done trucking, so he's back. 62. These are off a little bit, but they're not bad.
Oh, not really, because I can see stalks right here.
Yeah, these are a lot shorter, a little bit harder to cut. I'm getting a little more ragged cut, leaving some behind that I just can't get them, but they're still good beans. How long has it been since we could park trucks in the field down here like that?
Yeah, really.
It's been a while. Man, we have beat the crap out of these ends for the last several years. This is nice.
Still pretty rough, and even out here in the field it looks kind of rough, you know, when you go across, look across it.
Well, it is, and it's the ruts from harvest and stuff last year. It's part of why I'm getting sort of a ragged cut, but I think it'll be all right. We'll get it ripped up good next year after the wheat comes off. You don't think we should bring the disc down before we plant it, do you?
I don't know. I thought about it when we were gonna plan on doing all this wheat, but I just don't. I don't know.
I think this field's worse than at home. I didn't think that was bad, but yeah, it crossed my mind. I don't know that it's necessary because it's wheat and we're gonna rip it or do something to it next summer.
I don't know. It seems to me with some good displays on there, it seems to be getting them where we need it.
Good. Well, that's good. Now that it's getting dark, it's a little harder to show you what we were talking about there with the ragged cut and stuff. But because these beans are shorter, they don't want to fall in as much. And then you got the corn stalk rows on top of that, which you can't see right here, but you can kind of see them behind the head there. There's a lot of material and just trashy stuff that makes it harder for that to get a good cut. And then you throw in, especially where the sprayer tracks are, that the ground is really uneven. It's got ruts and dips and up and down, and they cut a little more ragged here. This would be why a lot of guys will use rollers on their beans after they plant. Typically in our situation, we don't really need it because we're not doing this. This no-till on the soybeans here was out of necessity and inability to do any tillage, more so than preference. I would prefer to run our vertical tillage disc on our corn stalks in the fall and knock everything down, get it to break down, make a nice smooth seed bed so we don't have these problems. But that didn't happen because we were so wet last year. This is just, especially down here at Berkey, it seems, have fought wet conditions in the fall for a number of years now. So these dry conditions are so nice, so nice. You can see our yield map up here. We're filling it in. The big orange areas, well, that's where we had a lot of weeds, foxtail. They cost us yield, no question about it. They cost us yield. So, but field average is still hanging out at 62, and I am thrilled with that. That's where I expected these beans to be, or really not even that good. So we will take it, and we will do a better job next year. Well, I got it all on there, but that cart is full. I'm curious what that one weighs. Got to be over 60,000. Well over 60,000, I would think. We maybe got 2 rounds left in these short rows. There might be a little more than that in these the shorter rows here. So we're gonna finish this off, and then we'll see. It's only 8:30, so we might keep running for a little while. It's going pretty well. Brock got another bulk bag of wheat planted out and is reloading the air seeder right now, so that is good. Things are happening. Things are happening. The elevator's closed, so he's running trucks back and putting them in the bin for me, so that is also good. Phil's unloading the grain cart right now into the truck, so I'm waiting for him. Was curious, so I pulled up the past yield map from this field. So this is the last time we had soybeans here. This is the yield map. So that would have been in 2020. Now the scale here is totally different, right? I can't edit this one. It won't let me. So I can't make a match, but the top end there is 58. The top end here is 80. Totally different. Hold on. All right, we got unloaded. Back to our yield maps here. So you'll notice that, like I said, they're very different scales. These beans were not nearly as good as what we're doing right now, even though they look like they were better. Couple of things. There was clearly a variety change over here on this side of the field where they were bad, and then they got to be not so bad, and they were good, and then they got much better kind of thing. So I'd have to go back to the planning map and see what the difference was there. Irrelevant, that doesn't matter. But see how there's this big kind of area right here? That is a soil type difference. This farm, this field has the most, or one of the most significant soil type yield affecting zones, I guess, of anything that we do. And we can kind of see that showing up again here. You got this orange streak that I'm sure will continue across. You can even see the line in the background map. That's this green area right here is this dark spot. And then this is different soil type, and this is different soil type. And anyway, it's showing up again, but what we're seeing different is this area back up in here has more orange and not so good stuff in it, similar to down here, where we didn't see that as much up here. That's where all that grass was, the foxtail. That's weeds, not soil type or something else. So quite interesting to follow that. What I was doing here, or was trying to do, and got sidetracked, was pull up my spray map from this year. 22 spraying on 8.3 actual rate view. Okay, so we've got some strips. Oops. So we'll be able to see once we get over to the far side over here whether that strip shows up or not. That's in our fungicide. What did we put on here? Miravis Neo, Indigo, insecticide, and water. So that will be interesting. Morelli.
Oh,
we're getting to talk to the family. All is good. Hi, baby. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Hi.
Hello. I'm planting wheat, the air seeder, the 1990, a 30-foot air seeder here with the 8430. We just harvested this field of beans here this afternoon, and we gotta get the wheat in. So I'm running the air seeder right now. Jack was here earlier. He ran the air seeder a little bit. Nathan's still harvesting beans. Phil's helping him haul trucks, and I'm planting wheat here. This field, I hope to get it done tonight. We'll see, but I'm having to refill a couple times here. That's my low warning light on for the tanks again. So hopefully we can make it back up to the front before I have to refill. But everything's going good here. Like I said, 30-foot 1990 John Deere air seeder. Does have the auger on the back, which makes it nice to load. We'll switch it back if you see the monitor. Row 15 does have a sensor out on it. It is planning, but it's just not showing. But yeah, we're planting about 1.8, 1.9 million seeds per acre, which equates to 147 pounds is what we figured. We get about 17 acres per 2,500 pound bag. So we're just cruising right along here, about 6 miles an hour, and everything seems to be going good. Really can't complain. Still a nice tractor, not quite the 8RX, but the 8430 is still a nice tractor to be planting wheat with, and it works good. So I'm just gonna keep chugging along right here and hopefully get the field done tonight or close. So I just talked to Nathan. I am filling up the air seeder again. This is the last bag of treated seed that we got down here right now. It will finish the field. They do about 17 acres and I only have about 15 left. We're gonna put it all in there though. We do have more fields down here that we're gonna do, so what the remaining is fine to be in there. But we'll get this loaded up here, and then we will plan out the field, and then that'll be a good day. I mean, we moved to Berkey, then got a field and a half done, planted the field, and just all in one day. So that's a good day. But I'm gonna finish loading the air seeder here, and then we'll get back at it. So I just filled up, and we're just getting, right here's the monitor, 62 acres done, and it's a 74 acre field. And we're planting about 19 3/4 acre an hour, so just under an hour and we'll be done. So hammer down, get her done, and we get to go home. It's 10:11 now, so 11 o'clock we'll leave here. Not terrible. Then we got about half an hour, 45-minute drive back to Waldron, and then we'll start another day tomorrow.
Well, it looks like we're going late tonight. Brock was just calling me. So the light's over there. He ran out of seed again. He's got just over 60 acres done there, about 15 to go, which a bag plants like 17. So he's got just a little bit to finish up, or he'll have enough. They're filling the last bag. They're putting the last bag of seed in right now. He'll have enough to finish the field and be good. And yeah, he's going to finish planting that tonight. So he's got 15 acres to do. Should take him 45 minutes or so. It is currently, can't see it because of the, there you go, 9:54, almost 10 o'clock. So we're gonna keep going here. The beans are not getting tough. Everything's running really good. We've got about 70 acres done, and just this little bit over here to do. I don't know. It's got to be 25. I don't know if we'll get this done tonight or not. We may have to quit because it may get tough. We may not get done before Brock gets done planting, and when he's done planting, we're all heading back. We got fuel in the back, the tank in the pickup we got to put in the combine yet tonight too. So we'll see. But we're having a heck of a day. The beans are creeping up a little bit, getting a little better in the back here, and we're up to a 64.5 average for the field. That's fantastic. Well, Brock's doing end rows, so he's got to be about done. I don't know if we're going to get the cart filled up. It occurs to me this video is super long, as all of them have been for the last week or so here. I apologize. Let me know if it's getting to be too much. I know they're half-hour videos every day is a lot, but I have some more interesting stuff. Remember earlier when I told you we were going to get into a spot where we had not applied some fungicide? We're smack dab in the middle of it right now. There's where we are. This is that map with that strip that we did not apply. Okay, this is where we are on the yield map, same location. So we are clearly in the middle of it. And if you look right back here, look at those three passes. Notice how they're yellow and orange, and these are green and yellow? Yeah, it is a pretty clear as day to me that this strip is not yielding as well. I mean, we've got more yellow and orange up here and no green hardly. We have more orange through here, orange there instead of yellow, no green right in the middle there. Clear as day, just looking at the yield map, that our fungicide application paid major dividends. I don't know what kind of yield number that equates to until I put it in the computer and look at it, but it's significant enough to show up on a yield map that has 10 bushel increments in the color changes. That's a lot. Well, we finished it. I did not see that one coming today. We had a monster day. Monster. Like, we did over 170 acres today, including the 3-hour or the 35-mile move that took all morning and 2 trips. And I mean, it's late. It's 11:30, right? But wow, what a day. Let me put this into perspective for you. Today, we combined $150,000 worth of soybeans today. That's incredible. Anyway, it's late. They're waiting on me. It's time to go home. We're going to throw some fuel in this combine, what's left in the tank on the truck, and head home. So I will see you guys in the morning. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you're enjoying this farm content. questions and comments, leave them down below. Go get your merchandise from farmfocus.com and use code HARVEST22 for 22% off. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the morning.